Hello, my name is Heath Kinsel. I'm an Andover police officer, currently assigned as a school resource officer to Andover High School. Today we're going to talk about the run, hide, fight model that the Andover Public Schools have recently incorporated into their crisis planning, specifically to deal with different crises that may occur on our school campuses that could be anything from a medical emergency to an intruder on campus to any other event that may cause the need for students to take action for their safety. In the run scenario, when students or staff members are confronted with facts that tell them that they are immediately in danger of receiving harm, for example, an armed intruder is in the same corridor that they're in, this is a scenario in which they would want to immediately run to get as much distance between them and the intruder as possible. As soon as they can make a corner and put a barrier, get out of sight, hopefully get something between them and the intruder that perhaps a bullet can't pass through, the better off that they would be. As they run, they will be yelling and communicating to others that there is an intruder on campus, and they will continue to run until they are either in a secure location or have exited the building, continue to run, and find themselves in a safe location. As they run, other students may join them, other faculty may join them. If you can be communicating to one another where you're headed so that you can remain together, as soon as you are in that safe location, then you can use cell phones or any other means necessary to communicate to 911 and communicate to the school that they need to be in a lockdown situation so that other students can remain safe and law enforcement can respond in an efficient manner. In the video that you're about to see, students will be confronted with a scenario where the run option makes the most sense based on the facts that are presented. The video, you'll see students hanging out perhaps after school waiting for activities to begin, and in the video as they're on cell phones and visiting, all of a sudden a student looks down the corridor and identifies someone who is out of place, strange, or who's presenting a threat. That student announces to the rest of the group that there is a threat, and the students then run. Notice in the video that they don't all run the same direction. They run as quickly as they can to get a barrier and out of sight of the threat as they can. In the run, hide, fight model, students and staff members are now empowered to make choices based on the facts that they're given. In our schools, in our setting, most of the time, students will be confronted with a set of facts or information that would make it most safe for them to still shelter in place. The difference from the old model to the run, hide, fight model when they choose to hide or shelter in place is that this now is an active protection where they just don't lock the door and hide against a wall, but they lock the door, they barricade the door, they secure the door in such a way that they're truly safe inside, that it would take a great deal of effort for anybody to breach that door and gain access to those students. And then they take up a position where they are safe, hopefully even from projectiles or glass or other dangers that may be introduced to their environment, and they then begin to strategically plan their next steps based on what things could evolve in the situation. So again, in the hide scenario, students will secure their room, shelter in place, and make preparations for any next steps that they may need to take. What you're about to see in this first video is a hide scenario. Students are going about their normal classroom activities when an announcement is made that there is a situation in which they need to protect themselves from perhaps an intruder on campus. You'll see the students secure the door, and then secure the mechanism on the door such that it makes it more difficult should anybody try to breach the lock and still enter the door. They then shut out the lights, shelter shelter in place, and prepare for their next steps. If somebody was to come into the room, they then could choose to either run or to fight. In the fight scenario, this is the absolute last resort. Students will only fight if there's no other option, if there's no place that they can run that would take them out of harm's way. In the fight option, the attacker is presenting a direct threat of serious bodily injury or death to the students and staff members in that location. As a unified group, students should gather whatever improvised weapons that they can find within their surroundings, and as a unit, attack the attacker and try to stop that threat such that other students may be able to flee, or that the attacker, the threat is completely neutralized such that they're no longer in danger. In the video that you're about to see, there is a fight scenario. What has gone on is the students were going about their daily activities when they received an announcement that they needed to shelter in place. In the process of trying to barricade their door, the attacker arrives at their door and tries to force his way into their classroom. In that scenario, the students had no other option but to transition from their hide decision to a fight decision. And in a uniform group, they subdued the attacker and stopped the threat. You'll notice as the attacker came through the doorway and was disrupted by the chairs and whatnot that were in the way, they were able to secure the arms and legs of the attacker, bring him to the ground, and stop the threat.